If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out.
Reasons, the reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear our feelings won't disappear. Ba, 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 ba. Good morning, y'all. Happy Friday. It's your girl, Miracle Sims. And you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is June the 30th, 2023. And today the topic is reasons. Yes, the topic is reasons, y'all. And Ooh, Lord. I hope that y'all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. We can talk about my day in the after show, y'all. Let's get into this topic, reasons. So first of all, oh Lord, there's so many different things that happened this morning. I woke up early. I didn't even pay attention to the time I woke up at all. I looked up verses centered around it, but I didn't even look at those verses. Next thing I know, it was 4 o'clock, and I ended up just, starting my prayer meditation. I listened to that. Afterwards, I just kind of got on social media and whatnot. But there were some things that was in my heart and mind. And the interesting thing is, the more I looked up what I was trying to find, the more I kept seeing things that referenced me. And so instead of like referencing the situation or the other person and things like that, it just kept going back to me. And so I was like, okay, Lord, so maybe this is one of those situations where, maybe I got something in my eye, right? And I'm trying to take it out my neighbor's eyes, whatever the case is. I'm pointing at something that somebody else has got going on. Maybe that's what this is, But ultimately, at some point, the more I did that, I kept looking into stuff. There was different things coming to me, but none of it was really resonating. So I was like, Lord, what are we talking about today? And at some point, I noticed that the little melody, do 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 do, and that was in my head, and I'm sitting here like, what is that song? I was like, what that song is this? And I recognized it, but I was like, what is that? That was what's the name of that song? And it was Reasons. And so I went and looked up the lyrics to Reasons, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh because I was sitting here like, oh wait, now obviously the song is like a sexual song, right? But aside from that, right, I couldn't do nothing but think about like the situation alongside of like what the lyrics was saying about the relationship between the individuals, where it's like they're wondering why they're here, wondering like, they did whatever they did, and then they're like, why, how did we end up here? And this is the thing I question about the situation I'm in a lot. I'm like, how did I end up here, and why am I still in this situation, and things of that nature? And sometimes I'll be like, see, okay, so it's confession time, because I told the Lord, I said, Lord, once he gave it to me, I was like, now listen, you done gave me reasons, and you done gave me a little something, and all of this, so I was like, you have to give me some verses in order to confirm this. And he had me look up verses. I think it was centered around, I'll probably have to tell you in the after show, because I can't remember exactly what I looked up. He gave me a phrase to look up, I looked it up, it resonated, so here I am, talking about reasons. Oh Lord. Okay, so yeah, so to tell you a little bit of this testimony, right, without getting too deep. Long story short, basically I feel like there are certain situations in my life where, like I said, I do question, like, why am I here? How did I end up here? Why am I still in this situation? Why is this person still a part of my life? All kinds of. Is anybody else out there? Is it just me? Have you ever been in situations like that where you're like, why? Reasons? Give me some reasons why I'm here. The reasons, whatever. And so, and one thing that I did come to this morning as I thought about it, right, was I think for me, it's difficult to cut people off. Because, well, one, I know that I need grace and mercy too. You know what I'm saying? I am not perfect, right? And I always had people, thanks be to the Lord, right? He always had people to pour into me in my down seasons, right? So just because some people are down, right, I can't be, pointing my finger or, being self-righteous or whatever the case is to be like, oh, I'm just gonna cut you off. Like, it's just so hard for me to do that, right? To be like, quote unquote, judging someone else in their down season. Like, cause just like I was down, right? They can come back up. Now it's their choice at the end of the day, and I can't take on their stuff. And sometimes I'm like, am I supposed to wash my hands of this? Am I supposed to be dusting off my feet right now and moving on? That's what I really was trying to look up this morning. But the more, again, I was looking into that, the more I saw, like, just maybe checking my own heart, right? Checking my own motives at the end of the day. And I think that's what pretty much the Lord was having me to reference this morning, even by looking at the lyrics of Reasons, because that person in that song is asking all these questions, right? They're like, well, how do we end up here? And, we did our thing, but then now we're questioning, like, how do we end up here? And things like that, right? So anywho, to be honest, and I don't know if this is going to help anybody, whatever the case is, to be honest, like, when it comes to people in my life, right, the people that are no longer in my life are people that, like, for the most part, they walked away on their own. Like, there's very, very few people that I, quote unquote, cut off, right? Everybody still has access to me. I never blocked no numbers. There's only maybe... Now, that might be some social media people or people that don't know me or whatever that might have gotten a little excessive that I've had to block and things like that. But outside of that, like, that, people that know me, people I actually have a quote-unquote relationship with or conversations with and things like that, everybody still has access to me, whether they cut me off or not, or whatever the case is. Or because I think that's the other thing too, right? I know how it feels to be ghosted, right? I know how it feels for... to somebody just drop you without saying anything. So on the flip side, when it comes to other situations, I'd be like, well, I wouldn't want to put nobody in that situation. I wouldn't want them to be like, well, what happened? And where did Miracle go? And da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, so I struggle, right? I share all this to say that I struggle, right, with all of this. And so as I was seeking some wisdom this morning, like I said, trying to figure out that part, I kept, again, seeing things that made me think about, again, me, my motives, my heart, and all those different type of things. And so that's what ultimately the juice is about this morning. And so let's get into these verses, because like I told y'all, when the Lord gave me reasons and I read those lyrics, and I just was like, okay, I was like, okay, I'll do it, but I need some verses to confirm this here. So these are the verses that stood out to me. So Proverbs 21:2, it says, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. Once again, we talking about the heart, y'all, okay? Again, we have to check our motives, check our hearts, check our own self. Like, yeah, okay, I can sit here and look at other individuals and be like, man, these people just don't listen. Maybe it's time for me to wash my hands, dust off my feet, X, Y, and Z. And there are times for that, because it's biblical as well. But that ain't what the Lord had. He didn't give me wisdom regarding that this morning, y'all. He more so gave me wisdom about my heart and everything like that. So I'm sharing it, right? Maybe we need to be checking our own hearts and motives and things. Like, why are you in the situations? What are the reasons, right? Things like that. Maybe we do need to kind of think about, like, when it comes to these relationships and all this type of stuff. Like, yeah, sure. I mean, maybe certain people hold on to you for certain reasons, but why are you holding on to certain people for reasons? Like, now in my head, when I think about one particular situation, I'm like, well, maybe I have something to offer. You know what I mean? Maybe I have some wisdom or whatever the case is. Maybe I am to this person what people have been to me. Again, a confidant, someone I can go and, talk to and things like that. I have appreciated the people like that in my life. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell y'all on the juice, but yesterday, my brother from another mother, it was his birthday yesterday and whatnot. And he's one of those people in my life that I can go and talk to about anything. And he hasn't washed his hands of me. He hasn't dusted his feet off of me. So like I said, it just makes me hard. It makes it hard for me to do that to other people because I'm like, well, I ain't too into cutting people off and stuff, but I don't know. We're going to seek the Lord about the wisdom regarding that. But let's keep talking about what the Lord shared with me this morning. So anyway, then the next verse that stood out to me to share this morning was Galatians 1:10. And it says, am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I will not be a servant of Christ. So, again, this is something that we need to ask ourselves. What are my motives? Doing a heart check. Am I seeking to please man right now, or am I seeking to please the Lord? Am I trying to be a people pleaser, or am I trying to, again, please the Lord? Like, we need to all ask these questions. And obviously, I'm going to go deeper about these as well, and about the situation, and be like, Lord, okay, I've been doing this, whatever the case is. I've been in this quote unquote relationship. I've been whatever the case is, right? And we gonna see what the Lord shares with me, what wisdom He gives me in regards to the particular relationship. But I'm just sharing that perhaps let's do this check and see who are we bowing down to at the end of the day. Are you bowing down to man, or are you bowing down to the Lord? So then we got Philippians 2:3. It says, do nothing from selfish ambition, or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. So there you go. I mean, y'all done heard this already, turn the other cheek and all this type of stuff. I mean, it's all through the Bible. And so that's what I'm saying. It makes it real, real difficult, right? To be like, man, this person is in need and I'm going to walk by, right? Or this person, maybe they just need a helping hand or ear or whatever the case is. And anyway. So yeah, let's do nothing from selfish ambition. At the end of the day, like whatever we're doing, it needs to be done to the glory and honor of the Lord. And even the relationships, right? Even whatever it is that the Lord has us doing. So then we got 1 Timothy 1:5. It says, the aim of our charge is love that issues from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith. So y'all, I mean, listen, it needs to be love. And that's another thing too. I was, looking into, again, some different articles and all kinds of things, trying to figure this whole thing out. And it did mention the part about like us being able to tell the truth and love and things like that. And I guess if I touch on this situation just a smidge more, basically, I would just say that, like, I feel like, how sometimes you're in a situation, you're like, I did all I could do. Like, I don't know what else I could do for this person. Like, how, like, and things like that. And because a lot of times what I've come to learn is that, again, people have to make their own decisions and own choices and stuff at the end of the day. And there's certain things that I can't take responsibility for. I do my part. I water the seed or I plant the seed or whatever the Lord has me to do. And at some point, I might have to wash my hands or dust my feet off of certain situations and things. Now, I'm still struggling and still trying to figure out when that is and how that is and what that's supposed to look like in my life and stuff. But again, the more I tried to seek wisdom regarding that this morning, the more I started to see more things that made me reflect more so on myself and my heart and my motives and the reasons and all of that, right? So that's what the Lord led me to share this morning. And, this is ultimately the juice. Now, when it comes to the Bible verse of today, I feel like it kind of reiterates this. And it has this, reflecting on our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's Philippians 2:7. It says, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant and was made in the likeness of man. He humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Friends, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired this morning because that is ultimately the juice. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And, it may not make sense to nobody. You know what I'm saying? It don't even make sense to me sometimes. I'm like, Lord, why you got me doing this? Like, why am I still in this situation? Or why am I still here, trying to do this? Because at the end of the day, again, people got to make their own decisions at the end of the day. And this thing got nothing to do with me, stuff like that. I'm a human out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here trying to act like, I am Jesus the Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus, obviously, he did all of this for all of us, and he are what we're supposed to be mimicking at the end of the day. But at the same time, too, we got to find balance as humans. And so, like I said, I'm going to seek the Lord about the wisdom regarding that and stuff. And hopefully he'll give me an answer about when and how he wants me to do certain things when it comes to the situation that I'm in. But regardless of that, what I'm receiving this morning is that, regarding the situations and things like that, perhaps we need to go deeper, thinking about the reasons, go deeper and seeking the Lord about, like, again, why are you in the situations? What is your purpose? What are you supposed to be doing? X, Y, and Z. If it's a time to shake your hands and dust your feet off and stuff like that, do it. If it's not time to do that, then keep doing the will of the Lord. Even if you look crazy, even if nobody else don't understand, keep being like Christ at the end of the day. And I mean, that's ultimately the juice this morning. You guys can go a little bit deeper. There's Matthew 6, 1 through 18 is in the go deeper section. But yeah, there you go, man. That's the juice. Now listen. Today we have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out tonight, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. Very important episode. Dr. Abby Shun is featured, and she's the author of If You Touch, I'll Tell. I hope that you all check it out because she has a powerful testimony as well as obviously a book that's been created for children and whatnot. We need to be taking get a handle on this whole sexual abuse situation, molestation, even when it comes to child trafficking and whatnot. I mean, that's another thing as well that we all need to just get a bit of a handle on. So by all means, I hope that you all check out tonight's episode of the GSL Talk Show. And yeah, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful Friday, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.